I want to talk more about Chase Edmonds. I just do want to throw out a name before people, I don't know, turn off the show. Don't do that. Jonathan Ward is a name to know. He's an Arizona rookie running back. He left with a shoulder injury, and ESPN's Josh Weinfuss says that Ward is in contention for the backup role. And It's just hard to really be impressed with Benjamin this preseason. Ward seems to have a little bit more juice, so just keep him in mind. But also,
who would be good in that secondary role?
What's that?
In Arizona, you know who would be great in that secondary role?
Chase Edmonds.
Antonio Gibson.
Huh? I want to see what happens to Myles Gaskin if he gets cut, where he goes.
Sure.
But I just keep thinking, Edmonds obviously a good player. And when he wasn't there, I've said this a million times, James Conner was the second best running back in football, only in fantasy football. Only Jonathan Taylor scored more points per game than James Conner did when Chase Edmonds didn't play.
If he stays healthy, he's going to be a monster.
That's what it's who is going to take him off the field. They have, it seems to me, pretty weak competition. I know he's not going to be an every down back. He's not going to play 80% of the snaps, but he might play the pass.
He did those 5 games, right? Those 3 games, whatever it was.
Yeah. No, it's 5 or 6. I think it was 5 games that Edmonds missed and 1 that he left early, or it was 4 very early. 4 that he missed and 1 that it was 5 or 6. And so Conner was a beast. I don't think they'll do that full season, but
they might try.
I just feel like I'm making a huge mistake by not having any James Conner. I don't know how you guys feel and when you want to draft James Conner.
It is a fair comparison to when you talk about, and granted, age matters here, but Saquon and James Conner, when you look at their injury track records and how much games they missed, and even McCaffrey for that matter, because you mentioned it, you saw what the heights were for Conner in this offense last year when he was the guy, and we know what he did in Pittsburgh when Le'Veon Bell set out the season for his contract scenario. So he's shown you the ability to be an elite level fantasy running back. Now the question becomes is, will Arizona allow it, like you brought up, Adam, and can he stay healthy because he's missed so much time? But to be drafting him at this point around later than Barkley might be a huge mistake.
Hey, Jamie, can I borrow your bridge?
He's the bridge?
He's the bridge between the really good high-end number 2 running backs and the group of Montgomery, Zeke, Breece Hall. And I think people recognize the downfall with Conner and the fact that every time we've loved him going into a year, he's underwhelmed and he's gotten hurt. And every time that we said, it's James Conner, who cares? He ends up being great. And I don't know if he's played back-to-back seasons of not missing much time. That's something that's easy to check on. I could do that in a second. But I think that he's the bridge running back this year. I think he's the last of the reliable high-end number 2s.
Oh, Javonte Williams or James Conner?
The 3 I struggle with, honestly, are Nick Chubb, Javonte Williams, and James Conner. Like I have in PPR right now, I have Javonte, Chubb, Conner, and I feel like flipping that. The Melvin Gordon quote is hard to overlook.
Yeah.
But Conner might be the best of that group by far.
I have those guys ahead of Conner. Conner's played at least 10 games every year of his career. Last year, he played in 15. He was awesome. The year before in Pittsburgh, he played in 13, but he didn't see as much work from game to game as he did in 2020.
Well, he's playing through like 8 injuries.
Right. So, and that's another thing. Like, he might be even worse for some fantasy managers because if he's playing hurt, he's not nearly as productive. And you don't know whether you can feel good starting him even in a favorable matchup. But I think he's worth that round 3 pick for sure.
All right, guys.
Because of the upside.
So how about Chase Edmonds? Jamie, where are you on Chase Edmonds? He played the first 10 snaps with the starters for the Dolphins.
Borderline top 20 guy in PPR, low-end number 2 running back in non-PPR. You mentioned that the offensive line was not fully intact and the receiving core not fully intact. And to be fair, no Mostert in this game also. But clearly the usage was fantastic. The one big reception that he had where the play broke down and Tua hit him, as the 2 of them were in sync running to their left. He's going to be their lead guy. Just a question by how much, but certainly his role in the passing game is solidified. And so, we're downgrading Gesicki, understandably so. Who's going to be the third guy in the passing game? Because we know the top 2 are locked in. Is it Ced Wilson? Is it going to be the rookie? I'm not going to try and pronounce his name.
Eric E.
Eric E., who had a strong preseason game, but obviously getting a lot of buzz. Will they, work another back in there? Is it if Gaskin makes the team to maybe keep Edmonds fresh? And we don't see Edmonds in passing downs, but that'd be a huge mistake. I doubt that's the case. But I think Edmonds, based on what this offense wants to do, running the ball, how successful they'll be, we'll find out. He had 3 carries for 3 yards. But again, backups, but he was also facing backups. So I just think if this is the usage and this is the type of guy you're getting with how many catches he may have based on what he showed us in Arizona when he did get work, he could be top 15 running back easily.
He's a breakout for sure. Definitely could have over 1,000 total yards, could have 6-7 touchdowns.
Okay.
Could have 60 catches.
Chase Edmonds or Tony Pollard?
Edmonds
by a lot. Like, I'm taking Edmonds over Josh Jacobs. I'm taking him over Sanders. I'm taking him over Akers in PPR. I'm taking him over Pierce, over Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Where do you have him?
Dylan.
What round are you recommending?
Dylan, right now, around 5 in PPR.
Okay. That's high.
6, I think.
Okay.
Does it bother you that Tua Tagovailoa through 2 seasons just has not thrown to his running backs much at all?
And look, to be fair, the 49ers, aside from Carlos Hyde, the first year Kyle Shanahan was their primary rusher hasn't been a big receiver, but that's also, I think, by design because of Kyle Juszczyk too. I think Edmonds I don't think Miami, we say this all the time. How much is the coordinator taking the head coach job going to do exactly what the head coach did? I think McDaniel's going to have his own spin on this thing. And so you look at this group. To me, he's their 3rd best pass catcher. Or I shouldn't say that. Gesicki's their 3rd best pass catcher. I'm not going to use him like that. Edmonds is probably going to be their 3rd best pass catcher. So I think what Dave said, 60 catches is on the table.